We're joined on the pitch at Taunton, official end of the Essex one-day campaign. We're joined by Dick Davies from BBC Essex, obviously our official media partner, and Paul Hiscock, the club's media person. So, Dick, obviously expected we obviously had nothing to play for other than pride in this fixture. The end of our one-day campaign. Firstly, CB40 has been a case of missed opportunities with the weather, and that's really sort of been let us down. Is that in summary, really, isn't it?
Well, it has, yes. I mean, it's been disappointing in the CB40, disappointing in the 40 over in the 20 over competition, yes. And generally speaking, I think the bowlers have come through quite well. But overall, I'd say one or two of the batsmen have failed to deliver over the season in all formats of the game, really. And that manifests itself just as much in the shorter versions as it has done in the 4-day competition.
And how do you see the one-day competition? Obviously, it hasn't been a great success at all by any stretch of the imagination, but 40 over particularly has, again, been a missed opportunity. But how have you seen it? You've seen every game.
Yes, I just really agree with what Dick has said, and perhaps the 3-0 results in the CB40 really hit us bad. The 2 games against Glamorgan possibly were finely balanced, but certainly the game with Nottinghamshire, I'm sure we would have got the runs. I think it was a Duckworth-Lewis of about 70 in 10 overs with 10 wickets left, and that one proved significant in the end, I think, Danny.
It certainly did. LV County Championship, I think we can all but say for this year we're not going to be joining back into the elite. 2 games to go. I guess it's just a case of playing for pride now, and maybe hopefully wins against Kent and Surrey.
Well, obviously, yes, and we certainly need to. I know revenge is a word professional cricketers never use, but they would like to get one back over Kent, because really the season began, particularly in the Championship, with such a poor opening sort of 8 matches or so, and Kent was probably one of the most disappointing results of the season. So they'll be very, very keen to come away from Canterbury with a lot of points.
They certainly will. Obviously, the objectives at the start of the season was put a trophy in the cabinet and get promotion. Obviously, we're not going to do those 2, but what plus points can members and supporters take into next year?
I think we've been discussing this on air this afternoon and during the season. I think there's lots of plus points from the bowlers' point of view, all of whom were shown tonight. There's Mills, there's Craddock, there's Topley. From the batting point of view, there's certainly Wheatley. Unfortunately, there are fewer reasons. There are fewer people seem to have fulfilled their promise with the bat than they have with the ball. But I certainly think that there's enough up-and-coming young bowlers really to give supporters every reason for optimism next season, and hopefully some more of the younger batsmen can show us what they're really worth.
And Paul, the objectives will be the same for next year, I'm sure. Is it realistic at this stage? I know next season seems a long way off, but is it realistic?
Yes, you'd like to think that the younger players will have learned from the experience they've had, and a few of them have forced their way into the side. Reece Topley, obviously, at the start of the season, if you like, came from nowhere. We've seen Tymel Mills develop at the end of the season, and there's a lot of young talent there, certainly with the batsmen, and I think, but the one lesson I think Essex must address is the first half of the season. If we're going to play 8 first-class matches, championship matches, in the first 2 months of the season, the loss of people like O.A. Shah, Ryan Tenduskarter and possibly Ravi Bopara will make it a mountain to climb, and hopefully the county will address that. Dick referred to there, I think, our county championship chances were probably gone by the end of May, or at least if they weren't gone, we were playing catch-up, and that's something that will need to be addressed before the start of next season, and I'm sure Mr. Grayson and his fellow team will address that.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for your fantastic coverage of BBC Essex, and thank you for everything done this season. Onwards to 2012.